Today I wanted to talk about encouraging a child's individuality. Oftentimes we see with siblings where one sibling will excel at one thing or another, while the other may excel at something different or may not excel anything at all. Maybe they're middle of the road still, they really haven't found something they excel at. And I think that gets even more difficult, especially for my friends that have 4 and 5 children. Let alone with two is hard enough. I can imagine with 4 and 5. And I have yet to see, even with two, even with like my own, that they're alike. Like my daughter, we told her is more book smart, straight A's, very academic, very analytical. Whereas my son was very much a big dreamer, an entrepreneurial spirit like mine. Um, while he could get A's and B's when pushed, he would settle more comfortably at B's and C's. He was very athletic, where my daughter wasn't. So we did try to make an effort to make sure that each of them knew what their strengths were and not to put them against each other. Because going through life, I think siblings are the ones that need to stick together and have the tightest relationship. They're the ones that are going to lean on each other more than they'll lean on the parents. So it's not a good thing to create animosity. And sometimes we do it without even noticing when it comes to accolades and recognition. I've been guilty of it with my daughter, where I'll talk to everybody about her awards, but then I don't really say anything about my son's things that he's doing, and he's typically standing there. So choose things in a child and accentuate those. If you have an athletic child, make sure you tell them they're awesome in athletics. If one's academic, if one's not doing anything, let them know that's okay too, that they're still trying to find themselves. So because these siblings look at each other, especially when there's 2 or 3 years apart and you go 10 years across the spectrum, the youngest one is trying to be like the oldest one or the middle one. Just make sure that you know every time you're saying something and you're pointing things out and you're praising one child, the other ones are all looking. So it's good to spend some individual time as well and to make sure, because it's not fair to the one that's doing awesome to dumb that one down in their accolade or their accomplishment, because you don't want to discourage them, because it's easy for them to think they're overachieving. So make sure you focus on each child individually and make sure you point each thing out to each other as well. Let each of them know where each of their strengths are at. Every child does want to impress their parents, and we as parents, I think, lump them together, and it just seems to be a lot easier for us. But we need to treat them as individuals, give them an individual voice, encourage their strengths. So that's what I've got to say today. Thanks for listening.